Another particular favorite from the days of Medarot 2 and 2 Core to anyone who played the Game Boy Advance game, it is KAP01 Kappalord, with a kit of Beam, Double Anti-C, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Forester, which grants S rank on forest terrain in addition to the leg standard matches. Now, as much as I'd want to say that he can be a very conventional and solid mixed fighter, I suppose you can call it, as a shooter base, especially for anti-C punish. Unfortunately, that's about as far as his overall viability goes. Beam, of course, is probably going to be his most powerful part, as it has the optic attribute and the ×2 and ×3 damage bonuses at the 30% and 100% charge respectively. It unfortunately also lacks pierce damage, which means at start, Kappalord's going to be already starting below the line and have no real damage potential to make use of with his head. For his arms being anti-C, however, that does add a little more of a condition to his potential viability, in the sense that you do end up having to use anti-C, or you're facing off against someone that is using a C-based leg. His parts will honestly be truly invaluable for that ultimate punish, and if you do so, it is a ×7 damage bonus to the part's base power when attacking for that ultimate punish and cripple to anyone that is using C legs. So in that one instance, C legs or anti-C will be absolutely an absolute terror on the field to make use of, but in these instances where C legs are not being used, of course, anti-C is not going to be doing much, if any at all. C legs, however, is arguably probably going to be one of the best parts on him, as it's a pretty decent leg overall. Probably not going to be the absolute fastest on the field, but it does usually have a very high natural evade stat, so you're more likely to evade or graze attacks typically when you use C legs. On top of that, however, the leg ability of Forester and the passive that it grants as an additional S rank to certain terrains does actually make it much more valuable to use, in the sense that biped legs cannot be used, and if you are perhaps fighting on forest terrain in particular. So as a pure set score, I'd probably rate about a 4 out of 10 for the reasons stated above. He's not bad, he doesn't have terrible stats, and he actually does have a pretty high damage potential, but that potential is also locked behind a condition and a niche. If you are fighting someone that's using C legs, then absolutely, Kappalord could probably be the terror on the field that you're looking for. But anything outside of that, and unfortunately he's not going to do much more than just slow you down. As mixed parts, however, I'd rate him just a little higher at a 5 out of 10. In the sense that you may end up having to use C legs, his legs probably will be worth raising just to have on hand, and in the sense that you do end up having to need an anti-C part or two, Kappalord also is available for that in addition. So if in the case, like I mentioned, he's very niche and very condition based, so if you do end up having to use him for something, and he does fit all the specifications of what you're looking for, he's there, he's very easy to use, but again, just make sure that you exercise caution and you check the overall field requirements carefully before deciding if you're going to use him or any of his parts in battle.